What's up? It's Teacher Danny, and I'm going to show you how to use the Noesis gizmo to display an image in Meta Horizon Worlds. So you see here, I got this pretty image of a flower here in Meta Horizon Worlds. You know, see the little characters run around and stuff, and you can look at this image. How are you going to do that? Well, you are going to start by opening up the studio. So I have the studio app here, and I'm going to create new once it opens up, and we're going to create the flower image. So let's just call it flower. Before we give it a file name, you always want it to go in its own folder. So let's go. I have a place where I keep a lot of my Noesis projects. It's called Noesis projects. I'm in here. I want to give it its own folder. So I'm going to give it a new folder called flower. Oops. Then I'm going to go into that folder, and this is where I'll actually give the project a name. I'll just keep it the same, flower. Now, this is, if I were to just save the project like this and bring it into Meta Horizon Worlds, it would just be a big gray box. What you see is what you get. What we're going to do is we are going to go up to the top. This is the root folder here. We're going to hover over this and then click the plus sign to import assets. We got to find the image. So, know where the image was. I guess I should have mentioned that in the beginning. Have your image ready. I think my image, where was it? Right there. So now I have image flowers imported. And I'm going to drag that down, and I'm going to put it right in this grid. And see, when I put it in the grid, it's kind of like indented. Now that the image is selected, well, you see that it still has gray bars on the side. So we don't want it to look like that. So I know that this image is 500 by 500. So I'm going to go to the page, which is the, that big gray box, and I'm going to set that to 500 by 500. Now I'm going to save it. I'm going to hit Control S. You can come up here and click File and Save too. All right, so I've saved it. Now I'm going to go to Meta Horizon Worlds and import this. So I go to the folder in my assets and asset library. So asset library, my assets. Go to the folder I want to save it in. I'm going to click Add New. I'm going to click on Noesis Project, obviously. And then we have to remember, where did we put that? We put that in our Noesis projects, and we called it flower. And there is the project. And it imports, see, it says right there, flower.zip. I'm not exactly sure what it says zip. It doesn't take long for it to import. Once it's imported, we can drag it out there, and it'll only require one more step after that. So I'm going to drag it out there. And when you bring out a gizmo, you always have to tell the computer what the root XAML file is. You don't even have to know what that is. Just once you click on it in the properties panel here on the right, you go to root XAML, and then you click main page. So this is main page in which project? Flower project, which we already did. And there it is. There is, once I changed it to main page, which is always going to be the default. I didn't have to name it main page or anything. Now you have an image in there. And I'm going to show you a dynamic way in another video, but for this, every time you want to bring in an image, if you want a different image, you would have to make a different Noesis project. But as you see, it doesn't take long. Okay? Thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions. Teacher Danny out.